Hello there, runNers. It's Manny again, and I'm back for my second video this week. Missed out on a couple weeks. Now I'm back. We got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm going to go over it right now. I'm going to go over Springtime Surprise a little bit. So what happened is the digital event guide, last predicted, came out this week. So it is out. I'm going to take some time. I'm going to look over it, really do a whole video on that. This is not that video. The video will come out next week because I also think that the merchandise is going to drop next week. So we'll be able to get a preview to some of the merchandise that is going to be coming out. Remember, guys, when this preview comes out, it's going to be some of the merchandise, not all of it. So there's going to be more at the expo, guys. So if you see it and go like, yeah, I don't like it, and then you're going to see somebody wearing something, and you're going to go like, why didn't I see that? You know, because it wasn't on. They're not going to give you everything that's going to be there, okay? So they just do that on purpose. So you're going to show up, so you're going to be able to look, and there's going to be some cool things. But guys, so I'll go over that event guide. My suggestion right now, guys, if you are doing Springtime Surprise, go over that event guide. All I'm going to do basically is reinforce, maybe clean up a couple of questions that you guys have. But guys, my suggestion as always is go to runDisney first. Get all the information that you can from there, then ask your questions, okay? That's okay if something's it doesn't sound right, you just have a question because it just doesn't sound, it's a little bit confusing. So guys, and I'm going to say this, so I usually don't use names, but Michelle out there is awesome. I know she's a friend of the channels. I know she watches the videos, and she always posts on social media, and she attaches my name. But she does the right thing. She actually puts on there runDisney. Go there and then go to Manny. So I think this is great because, again, I do not work for runDisney. You get the answers from runDisney directly. That way you know. Again, all I can do is talk about experience, and I do talk to them every once in a while. But again, guys, they're not going to tell me everything. So guys, go over there, and that is awesome. Thank you, Michelle, for doing that. I think you're awesome for doing that. You're doing it the right way. But again, that video will drop sometime next week for Springtime Surprise. So before we move on, I'm going to just say, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so down below. These videos come out about once a week. We try to be as informative as possible to give you the information that you need so that you can have you can make better decisions when you're trying to register, when you're trying to decide on a run, just general information about merchandise, so forth and so on. So please subscribe down below. Remember to keep asking the questions. That is amazing. You guys even message me on Facebook and on Instagram, and I'll try to answer those questions as much as I can. But just do that, and let's go on to Marathon Weekend. So registration is coming fast. It's going to be this coming Tuesday. So right now, Club runDisney and the legacy runners are going to go through all the registration. They've already gone through it. They go all the way through Monday, and then it is us mere mortals' turn. So as I said last time, I've been doing these videos for a while now. The ones that have to do with registration take a long time. I have to go over information over and over and over, and I've done these quite a bit. I just did one last month, guys. So if you do want some specific information, go to those videos. I really suggest that you look at them and then ask me any questions that you may have. Today, I'm going to give you a little bit of the tips, some things that, you know, I was thinking about this and I thought to myself, what are the main things that people need to know so that they could be prepared to register next Tuesday? So we are going to go over that. So the first thing I suggest is to go to the runDisney.com page, and all the marathon information is going to be there, including dates, including prices. All that is going to be there. So people, please, please, please go there and get that information. I'm going to piggyback on saying this also because a lot of people don't read. They just register, and then all of a sudden, all heck breaks loose. So before you register, I really do think you got to go and look at the website, read everything. The things that I'm going to have to say again is going to be dates. Believe it or not, I have been seeing people saying that they signed up and Disney did not give them the dates, which I don't believe so, because dates are everywhere. So we see the dates and little things like that. I just don't understand how you would sign up for something and you didn't check the dates. guys. So please, please, please go to the website and check that out before you even register. The other main one is going to be pacing requirements. It's 16-minute miles, anything that's not the 5K, so 10K, half, full, okay? Even the 10 miler is 16-minute mile, okay? But it is after, it's when the last person starts. So the last person that starts, which is the balloon ladies, they have to adhere to a 16-minute mile. Now that means if you take off in corral A, B, C, you take off early, okay? You're gonna have that cushion. So you're gonna be able to run a little bit slower and not get swept. That's the big deal about trying to get into an earlier corral, which is a different issue in itself. But remember, guys, that you have to keep a 16-minute pace. So make sure that you understand this before you register, and you understand that you can train for this. And again, I have some ideas about training and something that might help you, something that's a little bit more visual. So it doesn't even matter if you're doing intervals, if you're doing straight running, everything that you're doing. So I'll talk about that during the summer, but let's move on. Another thing that you have to look at is that you cannot transfer, and there is no refund. So there's no transfers, no refunds. And lately I've been seeing a lot of people on social media, and they are trying to transfer bibs. They've been asking if they can transfer bibs. I'm gonna say this, if there's any moderators out there, which I know there's some moderators that watch, moderators for social media pages, please, please, please make sure that you discard those comments, because then people get ideas. And not only that, resellers will get ideas. And so if we encourage them, and I see some people encouraging people to transfer bibs, don't do this, guys. There's two things that are gonna happen, or two things that can happen that are not gonna be good. Number one, if you get caught, you will be banned, or you can be banned. You and whoever transfers, whoever the two transfer people are, can get banned from runDisney for future events. I'm not sure if it's a year, I'm not sure it's a lifetime, but guys, just think to yourself, is it worth it? The second thing, I mentioned resellers. Now think to yourself logically, if resellers are watching these pages, if they find a way to be able to transfer bibs, they are gonna buy up the bibs. Then they're gonna find ways of transferring and charging double, because again, some of the charities charge about triple. So they're gonna say, all right, I'm gonna charge double. I'm gonna make some money off of this. And now they find a way to get away with it. And now all of a sudden, registration is gonna come, and you're gonna realize that, hey, I'm not gonna be, it's even harder to get a bib, guys. So please, 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 do not transfer, do not find ways of transferring, do not find ways of getting refunds. Contact runDisney if there's an emergency, something like that, if you can't make it, and just contact them directly and get an answer from them. Now, before we also get into the actual, I'm just gonna give you a list of tips of what you can do. I'm gonna say this, and people, please, please, please remember this. From what I understand, there's gonna be approximately 8,000 dopey openings, or dopey spots, okay? So with that said, I think it's gonna take a while to sell out, mainly because there's gonna be more, and they could be even possibly more than that. I think Disney is now seeing that it's growing. It used to be up to 20,000, so I think that maybe they might expand it. Now again, for marathon, you'll have the dopey, you have the goofy, and you have the marathoner, so it's all combined. So this is just the information that I got about dopey, but again, this may not be 100% accurate. Okay, so guys, just remember, for every slot, almost every slot out there, there's gonna be at least 2, maybe even 3 or 4 people that want the slot. Think to yourself, it's kind of like a lottery. So if there is 3 people that want that slot, 2 of the 3 are gonna be upset. So I know people have gotten upset before. They've even reached out to me. I didn't get in. I tried everything. I did everything that you said. Guys, my tips are meant to better your chances. They don't guarantee your chance. So guys, please remember that before you go into it. What I always do when I go into registration, I already have, and I'm gonna go into it in a little bit, but I have plan A, plan B, plan C. I already have my plans in place, and I got my priorities. And then at the very end, if something happens, I at least know I'm gonna be able to do something that weekend, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But guys, remember this, it's not a guarantee, so don't be upset if you don't get in. Don't take it out on people. Don't take it out on people on social media. Just remember, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit, prioritize. But again, this is not a guarantee, and let's just be nice to each other. Okay, like I said before, I'm not going to go into details like I usually do. I'm not going to go into that. If you want to watch these videos, if you've watched them before, just maybe this will be a little bit of a refresher with the points, the major points. So the first thing you can do right now is just make sure, if you have not done so, set up your account, and we'll show you how. So go to the runDisney.com page. On the top right hand corner, it's going to say help and support. Click on manage account. Now this is going to show me this because I already have an account, but for you guys who don't have an account, it's going to read create an account. So remember that the login information for Run Disney is the same for all of your Disney pages. So if you have a Disney World, a Disneyland, a Disney Movies, whatever it is, D23, all that stuff, you can use that that login information. It's going to be the same one. So when you put in your information, that's going to give you that same login information. And make sure you have your account. The next thing, and I alluded to it a little bit earlier, is prioritize. Prioritize your races. I'm going to give you some example, and prioritize if you're going to have to run with somebody. If this person is a must, or if it's cool that they were there. So the way I look at it is, so there's two ways of prioritizing. The first one is going to be just your races. So like, let's say you decide I'm going to do Dopey. All right, well, Dopey sells out. Then you might say, all right, well, I didn't get a Dopey. Let's look at Goofy. So the Goofy is next. And then you could even say, well, I'm going to try to get into the 10K and the 5K individually. All right, that didn't happen. So then you can sit there and say, I'm going to get into the marathon because I hear the marathon is cool, and so forth and so on, and then maybe an individual run. But again, you're setting A, B, C, D on down the line. Guys, the reason I always say that I always get in is because my last line of defense, my last thing is, I'm gonna volunteer. I'm gonna go there and cheer people on. So I for sure usually will be there, or at least I'm gonna be there for the Run Disney weekends as much as I can be. So unless something happens, I will be there. But I have that priority to where the last one is I'm gonna be volunteering, and that's what happened at Princess 5K. I was there volunteering, and guess what, guys? I had a really great time interacting with you. I had a fun time. It was great, and I really would recommend it. So the next thing about prioritizing, because you're going to go through this registration, and let's say you're registering yourself and your children. Well, of course, that's a must. So at the very end of registration, when you're going through, there's going to be added another person. So that's where you add the people. So if these people are a must, you're going to do the 5K, you're going to do it with your child, you're going to do a 10K, you're going to do it with your teenager, so forth, so on. Whatever you're going to do, that person has to run with you. Then make sure that when you go through the registration, when you get to the tab that says add another run or add another race, you click on that and add the person. If the person is not a must, it's a co-worker, and that would be cool if you could run together. If not, it's not the biggest deal. So what you do is you go and you register yourself. You're going to have 15 minutes to go back into the queue. Now you can, and it's going to say register yourself or register somebody else. You can register somebody else. That'll have to do with yourself too, because if you want to do, let's say, the Goofy and the 5K, so you don't want to do the 10K, you want to take that day off. So again, prioritize, because you can add that run, but I would do Goofy first, and then all of a sudden go into 5K, or vice versa, whichever one you find that's more important to do, because you can register. But again, you could do Goofy, it could say add another run, you can do that and add the 5K, or again, if you really badly want to do Goofy, so you're going to put Goofy, and then you're going to pay for that, then you're going to go back in, and then you're going to put in the 5K, and you're going to pay for that individual. Another thing that people, I started doing this, and I started talking about this more recent than I did later, so check your internet, check your data, check your Wi-Fi. So I would, starting a couple of days before, I would walk around and say, all right, where am I getting the best signal? And especially the morning of, and check to see if there is some kind of pattern where it's better in one part of the house versus another part of the house. And so that way you can set up that computer or that tablet in that part. You can have the other one there. It depends on what. Again, that's an individual thing, but that's something you can start doing right now. And there is apps and there is ways of checking to see the strength of the signal at different places. So you can check that starting right now. So another thing is multiple devices. I've always said this: use multiple devices. You have better odds that way. But not only that, use multiple browsers. So if you have 2 tablets, a computer and a tablet, use 2 different browsers. So use Safari on one, Chrome on another one. And again, if you have both of those on Wi-Fi, then maybe have your phone with data. So just in case Wi-Fi drops, you still have data. If data drops, you still have Wi-Fi. Another tip is just be patient. Once you get into that spinning queue, yeah, it's gonna have that bar on the bottom, so I actually posted this on the social media page. Once you get in there, be patient. Remember, it is gonna read sometimes that it's gonna be over 1 hour before it goes into the actual time. So what happens is it's putting people into the queues, people start dropping, so forth and so on. So all of a sudden, that wait, that over an hour wait might turn into 5 minutes. It might turn into half an hour. It may stay there for a while, but guys, be patient. So my next tip is going to be efficient. So it doesn't matter if you're registering for 1 race, 2 races, 3 races. If you're registering 1 person, 2 people, 3, 5, 10, you're going to have to be efficient. So remember that when you go through the registration, and I have it on the other pages, on my other videos, I'm sorry, you're going to have everything that you're going to have to go through. You can write them down so you can be ready for those, but just make sure that you click every box, because again, it's going to take time to go back and fix them, and if it's not readily available, you might not see it for a bit, and so it can add precious seconds. So be as efficient as possible. That way you can get in as quickly as possible. So another thing, please do not stop. If you get into the queue, you finally get in and you're registering, that does not mean your spot is safe. It'll say that on there also. So you got to read that. So just go through the registration, and you are not in until it says thank you for registering. You got your email. It's going to be on your account. So please, please, please do not stop. A lot of people have done it in the past, and new people might do this. Once they get in, they go, okay, I got time, I'm in, and so they take their time. Next thing you know is they didn't get that slot. So people, please remember, you are not in the run until it says thank you for registering. And the last tip is one thing that I add, and a lot of people don't talk about this, is be ready with multiple forms of payments. The reason is because just in case you get in or you try to do Dopey, and Dopey is sold out, but you have put your credit card, you put your debit card information, and you have enough money to pay for that one. All right, so it stands to reason if you have enough money for that one, you should have enough money for Goofy. But what happens is if it says it's sold out, you go back and register for Goofy, it has put a hold on that. So let's say you have $700 in your account, and I think the cost is $688. So that hold is $688. So technically your account only has $12 in it. So when you try to register for Goofy, it's going to say not enough funds. It's going to drive you crazy. So I'm telling you right now, so what you do is, again, have 2 forms of payment. So ready, one a gift card maybe, one a redemption card, a debit card, a credit card. Those are the forms of payment, but have 2 forms of payment. Just in case the first one doesn't work, the second one hopefully will. Besides that, guys, the only other thing I'm going to add on, because one of the biggest pet peeves that people have is they said, man, I got charged 5 times. You did not get charged 5 times. It's just a hold. It's just like when you go to the hotel and you put your credit card down, they put a hold of $10, $15, $20, $100, whatever it is. So remember, it's going to drop off, but please remember, this is one of the suggestions I have, is have multiple forms of payment. And then the last thing I'm going to say is just magical luck to all of you, to the running-ears. You guys have been amazing. I love, love, love seeing you guys on the course, and I would love, love, love to see you guys again, no matter in what capacity, whether it be at the resorts, sometimes at the airport, during the runs, at the expo, so forth and so on, after parties, just in the parks. It's just a lot of fun interacting. So I wish you guys nothing but magical luck. You guys are amazing. You guys are great. I love, again, I love interacting with you. So magical luck to all of you guys. But before we go, I was able to get some previews for the merchandise. So we're gonna go ahead, this is a pre-order merchandise. Again, it may not be everything that's out there. So let's take a look at the pre-order merchandise. So there's a lot of merchandise this year for pre-order, starting with this weekend bundle. This looks like a patch. This is another, I'll list all the characters. So this is basically just a generic one. Again, here we are, some weekend patches, it looks like. But they're going to have a lot of different things this year. The 5K bundle looks really, really cool. I like this little banner. Not sure if it's an actual banner or the banner is going to be a pin. Here is the 10K. So this is what's going on here. Now we go to the half marathon. Same thing. I am liking these banners, and I do have a feeling they're going to sell these out there. So now we got the marathon banner. So we got Mickey and Minnie right here. We're going to go over to Goofy. Goofy has his own banner, and of course Goofy is celebrating his 15th anniversary. So then we're going to go over to Dopey. Dopey has his own banner, which is really, really cool. Now we're going to go in for some shirts. These shirts are actually pretty cool. These are the pass holder shirts, so they're the teal colored ones. And we also have the spirit jerseys, the teal color pass holder spirit jerseys. Once we move over here, we're going to be looking at the marathon. This is the marathon spirit jersey. It looks really, really cool. I like this one. I really like this shirt. This looks like it's a female shirt, short sleeve. I really like the look of this one. This is the male one. Again, there's going to be different variations of this, but I like this one too. Here is the women's little jackets. So a darker color. Now we go to the men's one. I like this one too. I like this gray. It's very, very neutral colored. And now we're going to go over to the lounge flies. Again, the lounge flies have become really, really popular. They sell out, or they seem to sell out pretty quickly. Here's some more bundles, including the little ornament and the corksicles. So is there anything that caught your eyes? Because a lot of that caught my eye. It just gave me a feel of like Richard Simmons 80s workout videos. It's an era that I grew up in. I loved it, and so I thought it's just really, really cool. I love it. Some of the people that I interacted with said, well, they're going to take more of my money, and that's about right. I probably am not going to buy everything since I am doing a whole bunch of the runs and going to a lot of Disney things, but I'm going to buy a few of those things. What are your thoughts? Is there something that just stuck out and said, man, I got to get that? Do you not like it? There's some people that are going to be out there and say, hey, you know what? It's not my cup of tea. I don't like it. But comment down below. That's going to be the comment of this video. Did you like the pre-order merchandise? Is there something that you're going to be getting back on? So I will actually finish with this. Talk about tips. I didn't use this one in there, but when I just did my tips, but I'm going to use it right now. Pre-order merchandise and proof of time. I would wait until later to do this. You can go back into your account once you're in. It's gonna once you log into your account, it's gonna say buy products. You're gonna be able to buy the products, and so that way it is gonna save you some valuable minutes, maybe even seconds, to get you into the runs. So proof of time, you can go back in and put in your proof of time also. So people, just remember this. You can go back and pre-order stuff if it's something really, really stood out to you. I wouldn't waste much time right now, so that way you can register, be in the runs, and go, whew, okay, now I'll worry about the merchandise. So guys, that's it for this video. I want to thank you guys. I'm going to do the video next week. So we're going to go over the digital event guide for the springtime surprise. Hopefully some merchandise will break by then. And I'm going to go over some stuff that I am going to really suggest for those of you doing the run. But besides that, I want to wish you guys a magical day. Guys, have a magical run, and see you sooner than later.